Hi all. So in this video I'm going to show you how to complete a task for challenge 1 in the CA3 dataset. So for this example we have this starting task. So for these tasks you're just going to be trying to extend all of the branches on the segment that you have received. For these segments we don't have a seed coordinate, like a starting place on the cell, which means that we don't really know which of these branches is our correct cell, basically. So for example, in this one, we have a little merger here, but we don't know which of these tasks is the real task, quote unquote. So we're gonna want to do proofreading on both of these tasks, both this one and then this merger branch here. Or maybe this is the real task and this is the merger branch. We don't know, so we're going to complete both of them. So for this one, I'm going to start off by trying to split these two branches apart. So I'm going to press C for cut to get started, and then I'm going to start placing my points. So you're going to want to place your points just right over where you want to split these two branches. I try to avoid the middle just so we don't get any overlap. Press G to switch groups, place some more points. Okay, and then I'm going to press enter to do the split. Alright, so hopefully that worked. It looks like it did. Looks like it chose two colors that are very close to each other, so I might change that to something else. Alright, and then you can see I have my two tasks up here. I'm going to click on this eye to hide one of them. I think I'm going to hide this one first and work on this task. That's just so I can see each branch easily, but I can always click on the eye again to get it back. Just don't click on the star because that will delete the entire task that you're looking at. Another thing that I might do with these tasks is right click to add an annotation layer. And for this one, I'm going to choose the red color. You don't have to choose red, but that's what I'm choosing. And then I'm just going to use this to mark places where the branch is hitting the end of the data set, just so that I know that if I check something and it's hitting the edge of the data set, that I don't need to check it again. So I'm going to start with this end. You can see that this cell has kind of a weird hole at the end of it. And this is just where it hits the very edge of that data set. You can see it turns black and there's no more EM images after that point. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. And I'm just going to place an annotation point there to indicate that I have already checked that. Okay. And then I'm going to look at this spot here just to make sure it's not a merger. It looks okay, so that's fine. And then I'm going to go to this end up here. And scroll through a little bit. I'm going to see if I can add anything on here. Looks like we have a little jump. I think that this is our extension here. I'm just going to jump up here. All right, and so we're getting into a little bit of another kind of dicey spot up here where we're also getting near the edge of the data set up here. You can see where the image starts to fall off here. So I could try and extend this a little bit, but based on how chopped up this edge is, I think it's not worth my time to extend any further, so I'm just going to leave that as is. And I'm going to put another annotation point here just to remind myself that I checked that. And then I'm going to go over here and check this edge. Okay, so it looks like this continuation is just going right into the dataset edge, so I don't even need to go any further here because there's nowhere to go. And I'm just going to place an annotation point there as well. All right, and it looks like that one has been checked. So I'm going to go back to my segmentation layer here. Actually, I'm gonna do a merge on this segment here just so I have everything together. So to do that, I'm gonna press M to activate. I'm gonna place a point here and place a point here and then press Enter to merge those segments. All right, it looks like it once again chose a color that's very similar to my other color, so I'm gonna turn it back to something different as well. I guess that was for the other segment, but that's fine. Okay, so now that that is merged together, I'm gonna toggle back on my other segment, and I'm gonna toggle this off so I can focus on that. So here is my other segment. I'm gonna check the end over here using the comma and period keys to scroll through slowly. It's like this may be the extension. No, I guess that's just a little part. Let's see. Let's go the other way. Here, let's try this again. Okay, let's see. All right, looks like the extension's going in this direction. Okay, so there's the extension here. Okay, that looks good. In a little bit of a weird direction, but I think that's fine. Okay. All right, so here we have another little merger piece. This is going to be a different circumstance than what we had started with, so we're going to get rid of this merger like we did with the first one. But because this is not a starting segment, we don't need to also complete the branch ends on this segment. We can just get rid of it. So I'm going to do that now. And you could also place points in 2D for these kinds of mergers, but I think for something that only hits in this one spot that's not too hard to break apart, I would do 3D just to save time. Okay, I'm gonna hit enter. Okay, it did not like that. Let's try again. All right, I'm getting some errors on this. I'm gonna try a couple more things and we'll see how it goes. Let's try this. Okay, so that worked kind of. Now we'll try the other side. All right, so that worked better. Maybe I'll try and cut off a little more of this as well. All right, so that mostly did the job, and then I'm just gonna merge back these segments, and we have a little bit of a merger there, but that's fine. That's not a big deal. So I'm gonna just merge these segments together and these segments together. I can do both at once, and then I'm gonna hit enter. Okay, I think that worked. I'm gonna try and refresh and see if that'll speed up making the segment appear. It just seems to be taking its time refreshing. Okay, there it goes. Okay, so you can see this is all one segment now, and that was the merger segment. So I'm just going to double click to delete that. And I'm actually going to remove that from our list up here as well, because we don't need to pay attention to that one anymore. Okay, and I'm going to keep going. Let's see. All right, zooming in a little bit. And you can press the A key to add or get rid of these crosshairs. They're useful to see where you are in space, but sometimes they get in the way in the EM images, so sometimes I like to remove them. Okay, so we're also getting this kind of broken area here, so I'm going to assume that this is near the edge of the data set, but let's find out. All right, yeah, so that's at the data set edge. And yeah, when you get into the 2100s, you're near the data set edge, so that's what's happening here. And I'm just going to place a point to indicate that that is what's happening. And so I know I'm finished with that end. And then I'm going to come over here to look at this end. Okay, we've got another flat area here. So let's see. Okay, and it looks like we have an extension. And up here, I'm seeing that I'm guessing we're getting close to the edge again. But it's looking like we might have a merger up here. And yeah, we can see, we turn off the coloring, we've got this and this two objects. So those are a merge area. And I'm gonna press C for cut again, or split. For this one, I'm gonna probably place points in the 2D just because that looks a little easier for this one. And hopefully this will give me a successful split. It looks like it did. And I'm just gonna get rid of the merger piece. And then we're gonna see if we can find an extension on this, which it looks like we can, but it looks like we've got another little merger right up here. So I'm gonna have to get rid of that as well. I think for this one, I'm going to try the 3D again. Okay, it looked like that worked. Get rid of the merger. This looks like a small piece of merger here as well, but I think I'm just gonna leave that. It's not really doing any damage or causing any problems, so I'm just gonna leave it on that one. Let's check here. Okay, looks like there's a little piece missing, but we can't click into it, so that's fine. Let's go to the end. Okay, and so we've got a bit of a black gap here, but we can see this one kind of coming across and can follow this little black dot. That's a good indicator sometimes for something to keep an eye on. You can see it right there. Okay, so there's the extension. And here, got a little bit of a jump, but the shape here we can follow, so hopefully that'll be the extension. Okay, that looks good. Even though they're a little bit off center from each other, the shape looks consistent, so that's good. Okay, let's see here. Okay, I think it's this one that we're following. Alright, I'm gonna keep scrolling. It looks like we're getting into the black area up here, so we're right on the edge, and I'm not gonna try and add any more just because of the location. Frankly, let's see. I think I might keep out this orange piece as well. It's just we're getting really close to the edge and it's not really adding a lot to the cell, so I'm just gonna leave it out. Okay, so that's gonna be my end as well. I'm already in this annotation tab, so I'm just gonna add another annotation point to indicate that is the end of my branch, and then I'm gonna go back. You could merge these as you go along if you feel confident that they go together. If you choose to do that, that's fine. I like to leave them apart sometimes just because the different colors help me kind of remember parts of the branch, and just in case something ends up being wrong later, I can go back and easily remove it. But you can also, depending on how confident you are that pieces go together, you can merge them when you find them. Okay, so I'm going to merge them by pressing M and then adding, oops, I'm in the wrong thing. Okay, so one thing that's a little bit weird about Spelunker is that if you are in an annotation layer, it's just going to add annotation points, so you need to do a merge, you're going to need to hop back by right-clicking into this layer to do your merging. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do all my merges together. So I'm just going to click up here, that one, this one here. This isn't super important, but since I found it, I'll merge it in anyway. Merge here. All right, and now that I've placed all of those, I'm going to press enter, and they should all merge together. Okay, just taking a little time to get everything back together. I'm gonna bring back the other segments that I have. Okay, I don't know why it insists on having my two main segments be very similar colors, but for some reason it is very insistent on that, but I'm gonna change it so that we don't have that. Okay, and then the other segments that we had, it looks like were these mergers. Just refresh because this is not quite loading in. And this little extra segment that I decided to not include, so I'm gonna delete that. Oops, I'm gonna unstar that, make sure you're doing the correct one. Or another thing that you can do is I can hide these ones like this, the ones that I don't want. Make sure that this comes back correctly. Okay, and then you can shift and click the star, and that'll remove all your invisible segments, but just make sure you're holding shift because otherwise everything is going to disappear. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then I just have my two segments that I wanted left. All right, so this is finished. I'm going to click share, and I'm going to put my final link here. I'm going to set this to done, and then that's it. You're all set. All right, hopefully this video was helpful for your proofreading in this first challenge, and good luck, and thanks for helping out. All right.